How to cure lack of motivation and get things done quickly. Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Obed. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you proven strategies to cure lack of motivation that is making you feel lazy and unable to start the important projects or tasks you have at hand. Are you someone who suffer from lack of motivation? Sometimes it's not that you are lazy or you can't do the task, but you can't just get yourself to start the project. You lack motivation, maybe because you feel the project is a huge one or a difficult one that requires a lot of effort from you, and because of that you can't get yourself to start. And you know, this is a task or a project that is very vital for your growth and progress, or as it relates to your goal, or even in your workplace. How do you overcome this overwhelming lack of motivation to start the project? This is what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Now, the major reason why you lack motivation to start in most of the cases is because you feel that you need motivation to start. There is this idea that motivation inspires action, that if you are motivated, then you can do what you need to do. But the reverse is actually the case. It is action that inspires motivation. It is as you start doing that thing that you will become motivated and more inspired to continue doing it. Action breeds momentum. As you begin to do, you will gain much more momentum to continue the task until you have so much motivation that you cannot stop till you finish and complete that task and even go on to do more amazing things. So how then do you gain motivation to start an important project or a task that you have been postponing, you have been procrastinating to start? The best way to gain motivation is to start the project already, is to start doing something. As you start, you will gain motivation. How do I start a project that I don't have motivation to start? Is that not my problem in the first place? Yes, that's right. You may not have motivation to start, but as you start doing something, motivation will grow. How then do you start doing something when you do not even have motivation? Now, there are two strategies that you can employ that will help you start so that you will now gain motivation. The first strategy is to remove every obstacle to your starting the project. You see, a lot of the times there are obstacles that are preventing you from starting. If you have been trying to start and have not been able to in the first place, most of these obstacles are actually mental, although a few of them can be physical actual obstacles. For example, it could be the idea that you need more information or more knowledge or skill before you can start this task. So removing the obstacle, the mental obstacle here, means that you will need to think within yourself that you do not necessarily need more information. You can realize that you have enough information, you have enough skill to start. You don't necessarily have all the skills to complete the project, but enough to start. And as you start, you can gather more information and more skill and knowledge along the way. So this realization that you can start the way you are currently is removing the obstacle that is keeping you from starting. Another example is if you are meant to go somewhere, and let's say your car is bad, and in your mind it feels like the reason why you cannot go is because your car is bad. So that's your spoiled car has formed a mental obstacle in your mind as an excuse for why you cannot go to where you are supposed to go to. Now, removing the obstacle means you will think to yourself, actually, I can go to this place without my car. It could also mean actually picking up your phone to call your mechanic to come and fix your car. By that, you are removing an obstacle to your going to that place. It could mean deciding that you will not go with that your car. You can either do an Uber or pick a taxi or even public transport. You are actually thinking around all the obstacles that are preventing you and deciding to do something about them. So first, if you've been procrastinating an important task, you need to ask yourself, what exactly are the mental or physical obstacles preventing me from starting this project? List all of them and handle all of them, either mentally or physically. Every obstacle that is preventing you from starting the project. So that is the number one thing. Identify every obstacle and fix them. Now, the second strategy for starting immediately to gain momentum is to break the task into tiny manageable bits. Break the task into smaller tasks that you can handle. You see, most of the time it is because the task looks so big and so difficult in your eyes. That is the reason why there has been a mental block in your ability to start. So, but by breaking them down into tiny bits, you will realize that they are now small tasks that you can handle even without motivation. You see, there is a saying that if you want to move a mountain, you start by carrying stones. So by just starting by carrying those small stones and breaking them down into small manageable things you can do, you will realize that over time you have moved a mighty mountain. It was Francis of Assisi who says that you should start by doing what is necessary, then progress into doing what is possible. Eventually and very soon, you will find yourself doing the impossible. So to do this mighty task looks like you cannot lift a finger because of how big it is. You need to break it down into tiny manageable bits that you can handle. Tiny tasks that do not require motivation. So by doing those tiny things that do not require motivation to start, you have started, and by starting you gradually build motivation and momentum. This momentum grows until you cannot stop, until you finish the project and go on to do even greater things. So that is it, the two strategies to cure lack of motivation and get things done fast, moving you towards your goals in life. Number one is to find the obstacles and remove them, and number two is to break the project into tiny little tasks that do not require motivation for you to start. That way you will accomplish great things even without waiting for motivation to start. Thank you and see you in the next video.